When you build your task list, a single Gantt chart view might be best. But most of the time, you want to see the entire project as well as specific details for a task, resource, or assignment. The Details pane displays a second view in the bottom half of the project window, so you can see detail about the tasks or resources you select in the top pane. The initial view you see in Project is the timeline view in the top and the Gantt chart view in the bottom. But if you want to see those details, you want to display the Details pane. So to do that, on the View tab, go over to the Split View section and turn on the Details checkbox. And then Project hides the Timeline pane, and it shows the Details pane here in the bottom half of the window. So the interesting thing about the Details pane is when I select a task or resource or assignment in the top view, the values for that task appear in the Details pane in the bottom half of the window. If I click a different task in the top, I'll see the information for that task. So that way you can see the high-level view of the project as well as the details about specific tasks or resources. So that the window doesn't get too complicated, you have to choose between seeing the timeline view and the Details pane. So you can see that if I click the Timeline checkbox, the timeline comes back, but the Details pane hides. And if I click the Details checkbox, the timeline disappears. Now another thing you can do is you can choose the view that you see in the Details pane. Just click the down arrow, and you can choose what you want. In this case, I'm going to choose the Task Details form. And that shows a little bit more than the task form. Now one thing, when you have two views displayed like this, you have to be a little bit careful when you want to apply a new view. You have to make sure that the right pane is active. So for example, if I want to change the view that appears in the top half, I want to click somewhere in the top half of the project window. And you can always tell which view you're looking at by looking at the label over the Format tab. So here it says Gantt Chart Tools, and that tells me that the Gantt chart view is active. If I click down in the task form, you can see that that label changes to Task Form Tools. So I'll go back and click in the Gantt chart again, because that's the one that I want to change. Then if I want to apply a different view, I click the down arrow and choose the other view that I want. Now another thing you can do is when you have these two views displayed, you can also change how much of the window is devoted to the top view or the Details pane. And to do that, you point to this horizontal divider until you get the two-headed arrow. You can drag the divider down to make the Task Details form a little bit shorter and the Gantt chart view in the top pane a little bit taller. Now there's another way you can actually display two views in your project window, and that's actually to create a second window. That's actually a really good idea if what you want to look at is two different parts of the same project, because you can't really do that in a single view in this one window. So to do that, you click New Window. In this case, if there were more than one project open, you could select the project that you want. But in this case, we just have the one project, so that's fine. And what I can do is I can decide which view that I want to see. So I'll pick the task usage view and then click OK. And now I've got a second window. And you can tell that by looking up here, and you see that the project name has a colon and a 1, and that shows that there's more than one window open. And if you want to see both windows at the same time, over here in the Windows section, click Arrange All, and now you'll see the one window in the bottom, and it says Two Views: 1, and the other window is in the top, and it says Two Views: 2. You can also drag the corners and the sides of these to reposition them and resize them just like you would any other multiple window in a program. What's great about displaying two views is you can see the big picture of your project in the top view and details about specific tasks or resources in the Details pane.